They have a update, software update now. Like I think it's $85. The car go to like 465 horsepower.
So you can unlock the engine.
Yeah, because the car is charged in the United States by the horsepower.
They have to limit the engine performance. So it's capped at 365, but you're saying for like $65 more, you can $85 more.
100 horsepower.
So this is the GT 2018 Kia Stinger. Just talking to the gentleman here, saying that due to regulations, it's capped engine performance at 365 horsepower, but for $85 more, they will update the software, releasing the full potential, and it brings it up to 400, how much? About 460 horsepower with the GT for the twin turbo. So I'm just doing a short review here. This is the one GT they had in the showroom. Now, I am going to briefly just do a look around for those of you that were interested in the Stinger. I was one of those that before I bought my Charger RT, I was really looking into the Kia Stinger to see, but it was just kind of a concept back then. They didn't physically come out. Now the GT is the top trim. So I was just given the key here. This is what the key fob looks like. Let's see, I'm not sure what this is. I think it's just a anti-theft chip, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe a... Anyway, here's what the key looks like here. The lock button up here makes it feel like you're detonating something. Interesting looking. It's a pretty good feel. And you know, one thing I've actually really enjoyed about the Kia is their warranty. Manufacturer warranty is the 10-year, and I believe it's 100 or 120,000 miles. So I got the go-ahead to have a seat inside, and I think he even said start it up. Once you mention you're doing a review for a YouTube channel, they're more likely to help out. Now, I've just been noticing this stereo system here. A bunch of speakers in the back. He did mention to me that Kia has this red color, and I mentioned to him that this tail light here kind of blends in with the red, so you kind of lose that effect. You lose that effect on the side with the tail light, with the red color, because it blends. And he basically mentioned that they weren't able to go any darker because the Italian cars, I think it was Ferrari, they've already purchased the right to use the darker red. But I mean, this red is nice. You know, I'm not sure if the camera will do any justice. I mean, the showroom lighting does a great job of bringing out the true colors of these cars. You can see a gloss black rear valance, and I have a soft spot for gloss black. Quad tip exhausts, so it's really a nice car. Now, when he mentioned to me that there's an option to open up the true performance to 460 horsepower for $85, that is impressive. I did not know about that. And outside, I'm going to go look at another car later. It's a black one with a red interior. So he was kind of talking to me about the red interiors. Now, these, I think it's just the GT. They come standard with the Brembo brakes. I believe this is the four piston. I'll double check on that. 4-piston Brembo brakes. Red is nice. I mean, they got the nice standard colors out. The blue, I saw a blue one on my way in here. The white, you know, you guys know my Charger's white, so I have a kind of a soft spot for the white. Now, I'm going to do a sit inside reference. You going to start it up? You want to start it up? Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's a little lacking in the wow factor when it first starts up. It sounds like a normal car. Nothing with beefy. It doesn't scream muscle anywhere. But performance-wise, you know, I'm sure it's makes up for it on the road somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, so only the GT comes with these hood vents. Are they functional or just they're just decoration, aren't they? Yeah, I see. And is it only the GT with these side vents here, or do they all come with those? They all have them. And are these 4-piston Brembles or 6?
4 in the front, 2.
4-piston in the front and 2-piston in the back? Oh, okay. So the back ones are 2-piston Brembles. All right. So only the GTs come with these hood decorations there. Chrome accent grille, gloss black. We're gonna take a quick look under the hood now. Panel. Looking under the hood, okay, we got the strut brace bars. So this thing is made to go, right? Oh, okay, that's a sway bar. This is a twin turbo. Is it 3.6 liter? Okay, this looks good. So this is the GT model here. The other models have I believe it's a single turbo, like a 2.6 liter or 2.4 liter. And then this is the GT with the twin turbo, 3.6 liter. Down here is actual functional air vents, but it doesn't cool off the brakes. It actually, there's a channel that sends it over to the radiator coolant. So it cools off the radiator here. Little front effects here. I guess they have their own little bumper splitter in the front. And of course the lighting in the showroom. It just really makes this thing sparkle and shine. You know, like jewelry stores, they do the same thing. But this is a interesting looking car. It's a 5-door because of the hatchback. Okay, so this is the 5th door. It is a hatchback. Now this trunk is spacious. And yes, so it does come standard with the white LED lights. All the lights I've seen interior so far is LED. You can fit a lot of things back here. It's not deep, but it's wide and it's long. You could fit some full-size luggage back here and a few smaller carry-ons for sure. There's your emergency pop-open there. And I believe the back seats are able to be dropped. Back seats can be lowered. That way you can get a more room as well. If you need more cargo space and you don't need the back seats. Oh, one-touch button. That's it. Do they go flat or they just they do go flat? Okay. And so this is the 60-40 split. The headrests are removable, and there's your button there, your release button. That's it. Beautiful looking car, and like I said, you know, this is Kia's attempt to keep up with the BMWs, the Audis, I believe Mercedes. They're not calling it a muscle car or a sport car. This is actually catering more to the luxury market. So it has the sporty tendencies, but they're saying it's more for the luxury, I guess, audience. So here's some of the info here. So it's a 3.3 liter twin turbo, 365 horsepower. And these are all the things that come with the GT, which is the it's a V6 rear wheel drive in Hickroma red. But that's your out the door cost there, destination fee. So just over $50,000 for this car. Again, competing with other Audis in the segment, BMWs and Mercedes. I'm guessing that's a fair price to pay. And in my opinion, Kia has always offered one of the best warranties, manufacturer warranty. So this thing will be covered for at least 10 years. Okay, so I'm actually in the back seat right now, and I'm doing the sit behind yourself, sit behind yourself test, where you're sitting behind the driver's seat. Now, I am 6'3". For those of you who didn't know how tall I was, I'm 6'3". And this is, I know Tall Guys Car Review kind of did a review on this, but my knees are not touching the back seat. They're semi-touching, but the back seat, I believe, is all the way back. And I feel comfortable here with the legroom. The only thing that's lacking for me is the hatchback that they have here. This is called a 5-door because the back window pops up like a hatchback. But that's where you lose out some space, is the headroom here. It's kind of like I almost have to do a head tilt, you know, and for long drives, that could be an issue. But if this was my car, I probably wouldn't spend a ton of time in the back seat. But if I had a passenger or two passengers that were at least my height, someone would have to sit in the back, and they probably wouldn't have as enjoyable of a ride. But for a normal average size, you know, between maybe 5'5" to 5'9", you're good back here. You know, just me being on the taller tier, that's all I notice is that my head is touching. Like if I sat like this, I'm scrunching my neck just to try to make it work. But overall, I'm just doing a brief, this was kind of sporadic video, by the way. I've always wanted to do one, and now that they physically have the Stingers here, I just decided to make a day to come out here and test drive. I mean, maybe test drive it, we'll see. But the materials is great. You know, Kia did not spare an expense. This is their attempt to make a run at the performance market. I would dare to say they're trying to compete with Italian model cars. They skipped all of the American muscle. They're like trying to compete with like BMWs and Mercedes. I think even Audis. So overall, it seems like a pretty nice car. So back here you have the dual climate control AC vents. And it's basically, you can turn it between hot and cold, which is neat. It's not just the open or closed vent. It has a temperature gauge on it. Your 12-volt port as well as a USB port there. Center console, pretty standard. Dual cup holders. But overall, I mean, this is a nice back seat. Now you got the sporty pedals down there.
Oh yeah.
Stinger carpet floor mat. There's no Stinger badge on the doors. Just kind of this looks almost like an aluminum type of runner there. Control panel on the doors. And it's got the sporty steering wheel with the flat bottom, similar to the 392 SRTs on the Chargers and Challengers. Speaker system here. I'm not sure what kind of audio system it has. I would have to look into that. But let me take a seat in the front seat and see what 6'3" feels like. So I just noticed a chime when I came into the car. Let me see if that'll play again. It was a little welcome song. Let's see. No, it's not playing. Okay, maybe I have to physically get out and then come back in. Okay, let's see if that song will play again. No, it doesn't. All right, well, it's got a little sporty stop and start button there. This is kind of neat. Their display screen, I don't know how many inches this is. I'm assuming maybe like a 7 or 8 inch display screen there. AC vents. Tons of buttons here. Media. I'm thinking there's a CD player. I don't physically see one up here, but it has the track up and down. Might be in the trunk. This is pretty neat looking. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And your drive mode selection here. Not sure what the different drive modes are. I would actually have to read up on what these different switches are for. Your parking brake is actually a button, which is pretty neat. But overall, I'm going to say I'm actually pretty impressed with the interior as well as the performance capabilities of this Kia Stinger. I mean, it's a beautiful looking car. Price-wise, it's the hard part is that it's right up there with like the 392s. I would say right between a Scat Pack and a SRT. That's what you're paying for these. The GT is the model you want. I mean, they have a rear-wheel drive and a all-wheel drive, and the all-wheel drive is basically your top model, and it's about 400 pounds heavier. I'm not sure. I think it's maybe like 1 less mile per gallon in terms of MPG, but a lot of controls. The steering wheel actually feels really good. Everything feels good. I wish I was able to take this car out for a drive. I think this is the only GT that they have, and unfortunately it's in the showroom, and I'm really not trying to lead the salesman on to think that I may be buying one. So I don't want them to have to move all these cars out of the way just to take this car out so I can test drive it, just to say, okay, thank you. Now I'm going to continue my walk around. Oh, let's see the center console here. Center console, removable tray. It's not that deep. I thought it would be, actually thought it would be a little deeper. Let's see. So it's basically just about maybe 5 inches deep. You have a removable tray there. Nothing else. There's no plugs or anything on the interior, on the center console. Let's see this glove box here. Okay, so it's just one big compartment for the glove box. AC vent, speakers. So far I've counted 2 speakers in each door, and a large speaker behind the display here, as well as the navigation. Interior lighting, it appears that it's LED. It looks, based on the ones that I've seen so far, that they're all already white LED interior lighting. Actually chrome dipped. So this is a darker chrome. You still got the mirror finish, but it's not the more silvery chrome like we're used to. So they went with the chrome dip, which I think looks pretty nice. It's a little darker, a nice contrast. Same with the side vents here, as well as the front. Basically all the chrome on this car has been dipped and resembles like a darker chrome. And the tires it comes with is the all-weather, I guess, performance tires by Michelin here. It's 255s by 19. Front and back. 19-inch wheel. Not bad. So these are actually 2-piston Brembos. I didn't know they made them in 2-piston. And it has like the race suspension, so you can kind of see it doesn't have a huge gap here in the wheel well. And I thought it was lowered, but it's stock out of the factory. It comes with that race suspension, so I won't know how it feels on the road until I actually take one of these babies out. But I'm really only interested in driving the GT because I want to feel what that twin turbo can do.
I gotta go. Yeah, he's actually here.
Oh, yeah, nice chatting with you. Thanks. So this is the blue. The white. The, let's see, market price adjustment, just about $5,000. So this is the 4-cylinder, obviously no Brembo brakes. But it does still have the decorations on the hood. Here's a black one.
You